Hello everyone. Are you about to start YouTube channel or are you promoting yourself in any other social media platform? Then you may need an intro video to introduce who you are. So today I'm going to show you how to make pretty simple and a cool looking intro video using Photoshop. So let's get started. Okay, so first watch what we're going to make today, making intro video using Photoshop. Fade in. Okay, let me play again. Fading in and text and the logo animation. So it's pretty simple, but it looks okay. So before we start, please don't forget to subscribe and set the notification for my latest video. And let's get started. Okay, so this is the layout I made for my intro video in Photoshop. So there are a few things you need. So first you're gonna need your selfie like this, but on my original file, this looks like this. And I manipulated, I made it to kind of a low-key photo. And also you're gonna need your logo, and also you're gonna need some kind of a really simple quote or kind of a slogan or the motto to introduce who you are. So art, design, and life. So that's my my quote, and then this is the my logo. So I'm going to show you from my logo designing, kind of really briefly. So first I made it in Illustrator. So there are several nominees I made in Illustrator. So basically a typographic logo symbol design using my 2 or 3 initials. So there are a few things I tried, and then this is the one I'm using. So I'm going to use this one again. So let me copy this, and then, so this is my final version. So let me show you how I made it. Let me paste it. And first the thing is, there are the black letter and then a white letters. See? So first the thing is, once you design your typographic symbol as a text, I mean as a graphic, using the created outline things, you know, the under type and then create outlines. It is dimmed now. And then once you're done, open Pathfinder. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of all this white area. So let me use my divide tool. Looks the same. Deselect. Let me choose my direct selection tool. I'm going to click here. Let me get rid of them. Okay. So if you already have your symbol or a typographic logo or any type of logo you have, then you can skip this process. And once it is done, let me unite it again as a one shape, and then also let me place it on top of this any shape, like a circle, square, rounded corner, circle, square, anything's fine. Or star shape, it's up to you. Depends on your logo symbol. And then let me fill in white. And still I don't want to keep this kind of white. I want to have the transparent. So let me show you the difference. Let me place send it to back. I'm making this to show you. See? It is transparent. It's not white. But this one is white. It's blocked. So what I'm going to do is, let me select my black oval or circle and my white letterings, my typographic symbol, and let me open my Pathfinder and choose this, exclude. Okay. Then it is transparent now. See? Okay. So once you're done, what I did, so this is the one, my final version, and then I copy this and I paste it into Photoshop. So let's move on to Photoshop. So I'm in my Photoshop file, my selfie, which is not pretty photo, but what I did, I turned this photo into a pretty better looking, kind of a high contrast and low key photo. So what I did was, I went to images menu, adjustment, and black and white. Okay, and then under images menu, adjustment, and I use the curves. So control to make it darker with higher contrast level. Okay, something like this. I think I'm okay with that. And then also I don't like this kind of reflection on my eye, so let me sample with my eyedropper tool here, and then using my paintbrush tool, just a regular brush. That's what I'm gonna use. General brushes. It's way too big. Okay, that's good. So once you're done with your kind of your photo, just like this, what I did, I created a new file. So I'm targeting kind of the YouTube channel. So let me set to 1280 pixel by 720. It's a kind of a standard size, and 72 dpi, and then just the RGB is okay because we're going to present this video file on the screen. So RGB mode, create it. So that's the one, and then my selfie. Let me make a copy of this whole thing. Copy and paste it into here, which is pretty big. So let me make it smaller under transform and scale, and hold down the option, make it smaller to fit here. Excuse me. Maybe somewhere there. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna place on the right, something like here, and hit the return key. Excuse me. And let me set my background color to black. Okay, and then I don't want to keep this kind of my background wall. So what I'm gonna do is with my paintbrush tool, I want to make it bigger. Okay, it's good. And then let me just fill on my top layer, paint it in black. Okay, so it's okay now. Now, I need my logo. So first I'm going to change my layers name so I can tell which layer is which one. So this one is, I will just name it as a black. And this layer, my selfie, this is my selfie layer. Okay, then okay, yep, it's my selfie layer. Now back to Illustrator. I'm going to make a copy of this one. Copy, and back to Photoshop, and let me paste it as a pixels, and hit the return. So you can see that it's a kind of very subtle, which is fine. I'm gonna rename it as a logo. Okay, so maybe I can change the color into white or something else, but as I showed you, I change it to, I apply this kind of what is this? The layer styles. So there are the whole bunch of layer styles you can download from the web. I'm gonna show you a few of them. Then I just change it just a little bit, which is pattern overlay, snap to origin, and I made it. I changed the angle. No, not here. Maybe there, or let me just type it 180. Okay, looks good. And the scale a little bit bigger, not too big. Yep, somewhere here. Yep, so I'm happy. Okay, so the layer styles, maybe you can apply it from here. You may add something else, or there are some open sources I'm using. You can go to brushlovers.com. I will make a link in my description of this video. So brushlovers.com. You can go to styles, but you can Google and the PS free layer styles or free styles, and you can find a lot of different links, and this is one of them. Okay, so you can keep going and you can find something you like to use. So for example, if you like this one, I think I already have this, so let me try this. Okay, so it's a kind of layer style, like a water, glass and water, and free download. Once you download it, open it, unzip it, then it is saved here. So glasswater.asl. So that's the file we need. So let me go back to Photoshop, and in my styles panel, if you do not see this style, it is under Windows menu and styles, layer styles in here. And then let me excuse me, import styles from my download folder that was glasswater.asl. Here, open, and it is added here. Okay, so if I apply this, see, it looks like this. And then for each style you can change it. So pattern overlay, I guess that is that. Snap to origin, I can make it even bigger. This one is not too bad too. Okay, so let me go back to my original file. Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna use this. Okay, so this is my logo layer. Now I'm going to type some letters like this: art, design, and life. Okay, so just to save time, so let me make a copy of this whole thing. Copy. I'm gonna paste that up here. Art, design, and life. Okay, see? So it's not too bad. I'm gonna move this up. Logo to this. Let me move this slightly up so I can have a visual center. So a little bit upper from the center point. Okay. Yeah, so it's not too bad. Okay, then maybe I can use it as it is, but I wanted to give some kind of a little more spice on it. So what I did, I'm happy with my logo, like a metal effect, which is okay. What I did was on my art, I wanted to have some layer style. So click on this FX button, select your art text layer, and then let me try outer glow, and then normal settings, and then I wanted to use some orange color, which is my favorite, a little more reddish like that, and then spread a little more, bigger, maybe not too much, maybe opacity a little down to 80%. Okay, or yeah, I can make it even bigger than that. So we can control later anytime. And then once you're done, I want to keep using the kind of a semi effect. So in this art, my first text layer, let me hold down the option, select your effects layer, and drag it to next word. And next. And for the and symbol, I can apply the same thing, but I want to change the color. So on my and symbol, let me double click the outer glow effect. I'm gonna change the color to a little bit bluish color. Maybe, yeah, something like this. Okay, so it is not too bad, but I want to give some kind of little more behind. So between my background, between my selfie and the logo layer. Let me add a new layer in between, and then in the brushlovers.com, go to brushes, and I choose the grunge style brushes, and there are a lot of them, and then you can choose anyone you like. So for example, maybe this one. Okay, you can download it too. So grungy brushes, let me open it. I think I already did. So 5 grungy brushes. So back to Photoshop, and let me choose my brush tool, and then once you choose your brush options, click on the settings and import brushes. Then you will find the brushes you just downloaded. So see that ABR, so that's the brush you're gonna use. So I already have a few of them, so this time I'm gonna use I don't remember which one I was used. That was grungy brushes, not this one. I think this one. It's too big, too small. Somewhere here. Okay. Oh, let me set my foreground color and white. I applied maybe twice. Okay. And then maybe I may move this layer to the left because I think that is covering my face too much. Maybe up to somewhere here. Maybe a little more. So it's up to you. It's based on maybe your taste. And then I may change the opacity value a little bit. I think that is too strong. Maybe something like this. Okay. So normally what I do is I set this kind of a layout first. So this is kind of final looking of my promo video. Okay, so this is my layout is done. Now it's time to animate it in Photoshop. So go to Windows menu and choose the timeline. Here. Let me double click my hands too so I can view everything. Then there are two options, create video timeline or frame animation. Choose the first one, create video timeline. And click on that button. You're gonna see the entire timeline and then also the segment for each layer. So the layers in your timeline panel, your layers panel, they are matched, perfectly matched. Okay. Then by default, it will create 5-second animation. So we're going to use a 5-second. Okay. So the first thing is I need to have some plan. So first, I want to have my background layer is not black yet. So let me fill it in black. What happened? Okay. So my first plan is I want to have my my selfies fading in first, in front of on the black background. So let me place my mouse cursor at the very beginning of my selfie layer. You see that? You can move, you can set your starting point. So I'm going to have this. Then my plan is I want to make it fade in. Starting from nothing and then fading in and on 1 second. So let me collapse my selfie layer. We will see that kind of several options. So first thing is at the very beginning, I'm not going to change the position. I will just change the opacity value. So clicking on this, by clicking on this opacity stopwatch, click on it. You will see the yellow triangle, I mean the diamond. So that's the first keyframe. And let me move my playhead, this blue tab, on 1 second mark. Make it bigger. And then another keyframe. Now highlight the first keyframe and in the layers panel, let me make the other opacity value down to 0. So it will be fading in. Isn't it cool? Okay, so I'm not going to do anything more than this for my selfie. Now, this one is a texture. That's the one with we're using the brushes, the grungy brushes we used. Okay, and here I want to have my texture coming in after my selfie. So starting point is the 1 second mark, and from here I will just change the kind of opacity value again. Same thing. Opacity here. Let me make it a little quicker. Maybe on 20 frame second. Another opacity keyframe, starting from on my first keyframe is highlighted. Change the opacity value down to 0. So from the beginning, my selfie is fading in, and as soon as my selfie is completed, then the background texture is fading in, like this. Okay, so I'm making some kind of a domino game. Now, my logo. I need some plan too. So for the logo, I will start after my texture is done, then I will start from there. So this time I'm going to change the position a little bit, the position. So let me, from here, and then on just a 2 second mark, insert another keyframe for the position. Then again, also I want to change the opacity value. And on the same mark, on 2 second mark, another opacity keyframe. So I just need to change the settings on my first keyframe of this logo layer. So my first the position keyframe is highlighted, and let me move it to the right. Not too much, just a little bit. So it is moving in like this. And also opacity value, I want to highlight that first the opacity value of the keyframe, and in your layers panel, change the opacity value down to 0. So it is fading in and moving in. Okay. Then next is art, design, and life. So first the thing is I'm going to move it to here. I have a plan. My plan is there are 3 words: art, design, actually 4, and life. So I want to present them by keeping the slightly different time gap. So arts coming in first, and design, life, and end the symbol. So that's kind of my plan. So first the thing is, let me move my slide bar so I can view my entire layer. So first, art. I want to click on the transform stopwatch to insert the keyframe, and then opacity. Okay, and then just the 10 frames second. So they're going to coming in kind of very quickly. And insert another keyframes for both. So first keyframe, highlighted. First the transform. I'm gonna just change the other position. So let me move my text, my art, so slightly to the left, not too much. And my opacity value, change the alpha value. So it is coming in and fading in. Okay, now design. I want to start my design, my second word, in the middle, somewhere here. So while the art text is coming in, before it is completed, and then I want to start presenting my design, my second word. So same thing. Transform, opacity, and maybe, oops, not in here. Let me move it to somewhere here and place playhead there, where my design world begins, and transform, opacity, and then somewhere here another keyframes for both. Now the first keyframe of my transform of my design world, then I'm going to move it to the left a little bit like I did, not too much, and then opacity value down to 0. So that means art and design. See, I will do the same thing for the life. I'm going to move it to somewhere here. Let me place my playhead at the very beginning of my life word, collapse, and insert the keyframe by clicking the stopwatch on transform and opacity. And then maybe keep the kind of same amount of gap, time duration, and another keyframes for both. Now highlight transform first keyframe. Now place your playhead on that keyframe. Let me move my word life to the left, just like that. Oops. Again. Okay, and the opacity value down to 0. So art, design, and life. Last word is my and symbol. I'm going to start from somewhere here. This time, and symbol, basically same thing. So I place your playhead at the beginning of your and symbol, and then like I did, insert the 2 keyframes, one for the transform, one for the opacity. Now move it to somewhere here, about the same distance, same time duration. Insert the 2 keyframes again, and now highlight the first keyframe on your and symbol for the position. I'm going to move it even further somewhere here, and then the opacity value down to 0. So I think we're done. So let me rewind it, play it. Fading in, fade in, logos. So it looks pretty slow because this is kind of first rendering. From the second run, it will be faster. Yeah, so it's not too bad. So once it is done, now I'm ready to export as the video file. So go to Files menu, Export, Render Video. I will name it as the YouTube intro.mp4, and my folder is here. Okay, and choose it, and the format H264, and the preset I'm going to use this, the YouTube HD 720 29.97 frames per second. This one. Document size, that's the size we've been working on, 1280 by 720. So everything looks fine. And click on render. Okay, so let me check my folder. It's here. So let me play it. Fading in. Yeah, so it's not too bad. It's pretty short, only a 5-second animation, but we made it in Photoshop. So I'm using the Illustrator for my logo design, but most of the part was done in Photoshop. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this, and then please don't forget to subscribe and set the notification for my latest video. And thanks for watching, and see you next time.